Thank you very much. The member for Choiseul, Mr. Speaker. Member for Choiseul, the bill, the resolution that we are dealing with here today is basically completely different to the health and security levy. And I want to inform you that it was a budgetary statement, but the appropriate legislation to come to this honorable house. But Mr. Speaker, I just want to say something, because we either have a short memory or we pretend not to remember a lot of things. Do you know, Mr. Speaker, that the government of the United Workers' Party, in which I don't know whether the member for Choiseul was in it, they actually passed a security tax? Yes. No, Mr. Speaker, these are the things that people want. Mr. Speaker, they a big hue and cry about this is the first time it ever happened and we're not supposed to do that. Mr. Speaker, I'll read to you number 21 of 2001. An act to provide for the input, number 21 of 2011. St. Lucia. It's called a Security Tax Act. What? No, I said not know whether you were there. 2000. Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I'll tell you something, Mr. Speaker. Anything you say, anytime you're a politician, especially what in high office, anything you say, you must be very careful, because gone are the days when you could say something in a part of the country and nobody hears you. Or no, gone are the days when you go and bad talk people and you're not being tipped. These days are over, Mr. Speaker. So you see, anytime you open your mouth in politics, you must be very careful what you say, where you say it, and to who you say it. There's a big hue and cry in the country about health and security levy, and this government is wicked and things so. Mr. Speaker, do you know that the government of the United Workers' Party passed such an act in St. Lucia? But no, the member for don't jump on him. The member for Cassius North admitted, and he said there was a reason to pass it. The same way there's a reason now. Exactly. So he didn't deny it. He didn't deny it. All the time, a big fuss is being made about security levy. They passed a similar bill. And here what it goes, Mr. Speaker, and it reads.
He was in cabinet.
And he was in the cabinet. The man from Microsoft was in the cabinet. He was in the cabinet. So they're pretending about these things never happen. An act to provide for the imposition and collection of a security tax and for related matters. Yes, and now and the people who support these things, they do not do the research, Before you run and you support something, do some research. You understand, Mr. Speaker? And look at it. And I made it clear that the health and security levy will not be placed on food items. Look at that bill here. The same bill that he passed when he was in the minister, they exclude food items also. So, Mr. Speaker,
He didn't remember, he did not recall.
Mr. Speaker, and people follow these things, and people repeat these things, and people make a whole hue and cry. How can you live with a 2.5% security levy? How can you live with it? But they pass it.
What was it, higher?
No, it wasn't higher. It wasn't higher, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the difference is that, and you do not know what I will say in when I'm passing the bill, because the bill hasn't been passed. I was very clear. I said a 2.5% health and security level, and I will not put unnecessary administrative burdens on the administration of the act. That's what I said. You see, Mr. Speaker, I take my words seriously, but I don't want nobody to be able to say I said something today, and next day I said nothing, and say I didn't say it, and I this and that and this and that. You understand, Mr. Speaker? So that's what. So, Mr. Member for Choiseul, Honorable Member for Choiseul, these are two completely different things. The resolution we're passing today is to deal with money that's been seized, proceeds of crime, not the security level. So don't mix the two together. You will have your turn to debate the security levy, because we have to change the legislation for the security levy. The same way we have to change the VAT legislation to remove VAT on some building materials. The same way we have to come and do that in the parliament. And the same way we have to come in the parliament to cause people who owe on their VAT arrears to remove the tax and the interest on these VAT arrears to help the private sector. We have to come here and do that also, Mr. So with your turn will come to debate it. So these are two completely different. These are two completely different bills, Mr. But I thank you for your support, and I urge members to support this bill. No, but I sent a big to Soufre, extra one. No, but you're supposed to get the one in Soufre. Seriously. Now, Mr. Speaker, could you, Mr. Speaker, talking about the record, Mr. Speaker, the member from Mikusov rose on 3 occasions. Now I know he was going down the right track, but I know he gets so much blows today. I was in the parliament that I try my best to let him have a better day. But he pushed me, and I've warned him about pushing me. I've told him the same way he underestimated me, and I put him, and he lost the election. He continues to underestimate me. So I'm going to call his bluff. Economic and Social Review 22, page 40, where he's talking about unemployment. Let's read. Simple reading. Pull your copy, pull yours. Take yours. Page 40. I'm waiting for you. You want to share mine with you? Come on. There. Page 40. Information. Are you too close? Information contained in the annual labor force report for the Central Statistical Office, CSO, is the result of the household labor force survey conducted during 2022, is aimed at providing information about the level of participation of household members in the labor force and the size of the labor force aged 15 years and over. The CSO always strives to ensure that our procedures and processes for the implementation of the labor force survey are in keeping with proven methodologies. Therefore, the results represent the collateral responses of a sample of households interviewed during the period in question, and not the opinion of the Central Statistical Office. Results from sample surveys are always estimates, not precise figures. Additionally, for the period under review, the CSO collaborates with the International Labour Organization, ILO, for verification of the labor force results.
Yes, teacher.
The estimates obtained by the ILO for the employment rates resulted in 0.8% less than what's there. So that means 10 from 0.8 is 9.2, right?
Yes.
Arithmetic. So the ILO actually said that our employment rate is less than what it is now. Let's go.
You have to say no more. No, finish it. Once the ILO says...
No, he hasn't gone to the right place yet, you know. It's okay.
This is due.
That's only half of the
This
story.
is due to the question of the labor force survey about discouraged worker, which is taken into account by the CSO in the calculation of the employment rate. The results for this period do not correspond to the data collected period from 2020 to 2021, which normally runs for a quarter and may have lost comparability with the amount recorded in 2022 in the statistical series. The previous situation with COVID has negatively impacted the collection of data for the quarter within the period 2020-21. Thus, the results predominantly reflect developments in the labor force. Additionally, for the period under review, the CSO collaborated with the International Labour Organization for verification and audit of the labor force results. In this regard, it should be noted that the unemployment rate calculated by the ILO is less than that reported by the CSO. This is because the ILO employs a stricter definition of unemployed individuals, which excludes discouraged workers. Go ahead, read. Go ahead.
If ILO tell you you want to then you assess it. So if you